My brain is feeling a little bit numb right now because I just spent the last hour just blasting my brain with TikTok, doom scrolling, which I really should not have done, but I did it just procrastinating, knowing I wanted to sit and film. It's so silly why I procrastinate the one thing in my day I wanted to do most. Because all day today I did laundry and I had some cleaning and organizing to do, but this is what I wanted to do. And then, right when I was free to do this, it's like I look in a mirror and I feel like I don't look good enough to talk in front of a camera. And there's something about that that is so annoying because I was watching a Casey Neistat video today and he is able to just put on sunglasses and he doesn't do any makeup. I don't think he does his hair much. He's got nice curly hair and he's just able to jump into vlogging. And it just makes me think about if a woman did that, how differently it would be received. And I say that because I looked at my skin this morning. I'm really breaking out, and my body will always tell me when I'm starting to eat poorly by showing me these big pimples on my cheeks. Oh no, let me get close. Like, I need to get close. You can probably clearly see that. You're like, back up. But speaking of that, I feel like it has a lot to do with what I wanted to talk about, which I just heard in a Jadina video. If you don't watch Jadina, she is incredible. But I just watched a video, and I'll link it, where something that really spoke to me because I think it's something that I need to be doing is realizing that a lot of the answers that you're searching for, like when I'm constantly asking about what should I be doing with my life and blah, 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 most of your answers that you're looking for are in your body. And that I just, when you hear something and you know you needed to hear it, it's just been repeating in my head because I think she said that, do you ever realize that when you're exercising, it's the one time where your consciousness that is sometimes just overthinking all in your brain, it moves down and you feel more awareness in your body. And I think that is something that I need to do more of rather than lay around or sit around and have too much of my energy always be up here. I have had better stages of life where I am more into yoga, and I think that is the most healing thing I can do. And I haven't done it in a while, and I really need to get back into it. In some of the worst times of my college life, like when I was really just mentally breaking down because I put so much stress on myself to be a 4.0 GPA student for a degree that I don't use, I nanny, but trying to always get really good grades in a really difficult school, I would hit Christmas break and be so mentally drained. And I remember when I turned to yoga, how healing and important that was for me. And it's that same idea of when there's too much going on up here, bringing it down and realizing that your body has the answers. I really need to start listening to my body more and stop trying to find the answers just bouncing off the walls in my brain. Taking more time to get out of this and just go do something physical. Go for a walk. For me, I'm dealing with a foot injury, but once my foot is better, go for a run, lift heavy weights, dance. I want to get back into dance so bad. Go take a class. Just something to get out of this and into my body. And I really believe that the body has so many answers. I just want to listen to her, my body. I want to listen to my body more. Right now in my life, I happen to be surrounded by a lot of people in the law field. I don't know what that's called. A lot of lawyers in my life. I have a very close family member that just finished their first year in law school, which is the hardest year. I have a very important mentor in my life that runs their own attorney's office. I don't know any words in the law field, which makes this so much harder and so much more embarrassing to talk about. I have two other friends, multiple now that I think about it. I just have a very large group of friends that are either in law school or really in their career after finishing law school. Last night, I was at a dinner. I think there were six of us, and three out of the six of them are in this law field. And towards the end of our dinner, one of my law friends mentioned a classmate gets to go on this internship for a month in the summer and make insane money. I'm talking they get to go do nothing for a month and receive the amount of money that I will get nannying for a year. And I'm walking to my car after the dinner with my family member, and they were asking me, did that comment get into your head a little bit? They know me really well. And I thought about that, and I really don't think so. Because as much as I question, like I did a couple videos ago, of what am I going to do with my life? Am I going to make money doing this? Am I going to nanny for the rest of my life? All these questions that I have, and of course, money concerns, like everyone does. Quality of life and everyday living has become one of my highest priorities. I'm not making anything lavish, right? But I'm not struggling. And I have set up a life for right now that allows me to be in the most peace that I've ever been in. And I look at my family member who I got to watch go through their first year of law school, which is the hardest year, for over 12 hours a day, stare at a computer screen. Their vision has worsened through this year, and just watch the soul leave their eyes because of how hard and stressful this school year has been. I can only compare it to how hard I pushed myself in my undergrad. I understand law school is a lot harder, but I did take my undergrad more seriously than any classmate I knew. I was either only doing schoolwork or I would go see my grandma every other weekend. I had no friends. I had no desire to, because I started college so much later and they were all younger and wanting to do stuff with substances, and I was freshly sober at the time, right? I have lived years of my life where all I did was study on material that I did not care about. I just was so stressed to get a good grade. And law school is extremely competitive and you have to get a really good grade. So I'm not trying to say that I understand law school, and I understand it's harder. I was able to relate to my family members' eyes in the misery that I have felt. And I can't see myself reasoning with me ever choosing to do that for more financial gain, for more financial comfort. And I think that goes back to needing to be in the body. And when I was working that hard in school, I had to constantly be up here and not be in my body. And I think when you have to do something as intense as law school, there's no way to be in the body as much as I think we're supposed to be. And that gets really, I don't know if dangerous is too dramatic of a word, but I think over time, enough time, it can definitely be dangerous. But it's so unhealthy. For me, going from the undergrad I just finished a year ago, last May, to this past year, ever since I graduated, I still have days where I'm like astounded with how much peace is in my life, and that I don't feel like the floor is constantly falling from underneath me. And that has become so important to me. Today, one of the things I had to do was figure out my summer schedule with the families that I'm working for, right? And I do think I'm good with my money, and I was budgeting out my summer and some trips I want to go on. And I do definitely have to keep certain things tight, like everyone does. It's nothing lavish, but of course, I start to question if I'm going to regret not pushing myself more now. But there is nothing that I want to push myself to doing that either aligns with me morally or feels purpose driven enough. There really isn't. And trust me, because I don't know if I've talked about this, but I have had such a fear to start this, even though it is something that has been constantly talking to me in the back of my head every day for probably over a decade. I've had so much fear, and I think it's because I care so much. So much that if I put myself out there like this and it fails, I don't know if I can handle that and how I'm going to handle that. But in doing that, I have deeply searched down every pathway of what else could there be that can fill me with that purpose, like I feel like this creating can. And there is no set path that I feel would fill my cup in the way that this can, because I feel like at this point I absolutely would have dove into that, right? I got my undergrad in clinical psychology and gender studies. Love gender studies, and I will probably get a lot deeper into gender in my videos in the future. But there's just nothing in that path or other paths that I feel aligned with. And I don't feel like it would benefit me to jump into something just because of financial gain. It's just the peace that I have felt in this past year. I can't even comprehend taking that away for financial gain. And of course, I'm able to figure it out right now, right? Sometimes I feel like, well, am I just getting lucky right now? I still question if that floor is going to drop, but it's nowhere near the stress of what school gave me. I think there was a voice waking up this morning after the dinner last night, and it was a mean voice of, what are you doing with your life? You're making no money compared to others. Just comparison stuff. And I had to kind of stop everything I was doing. I was cleaning and really face that mean girl in my head, whatever that mean voice came from, and say to that voice, I have been the happiest I've ever been this past year. And I'm not making $1 million, but I prioritize myself and time outdoors and peace over the constant stress and perfectionism I've always put myself under. And that has meant more to me than anything. And I think I really need to hold on to that. I need to hold on to that when I am in situations where I'm surrounded by people who may be prioritizing money right now. And of course, that is so understandable. Of course, I fear if I'm wasting my time creating, but I have to believe in my body, and my body constantly telling me there's a reason why I should be creating. I have to believe in that. I have to believe in that. And I really have been. I've been holding on to faith. Every time I jump, I have found that there's been a net there by the creator, the universe, whatever you want to call it, that has caught me. It's kind of how I got here. Here is in Utah. After last summer, I took a very big jump of wanting to move out to Utah from Pennsylvania and wanting to try nannying so I can have more open hours to create, and wanting to find a place to live on my own. And when I jumped for all three of those things, everything aligned perfectly. And it really was just faith. I had no idea if it was going to work out. And I just need to continue that faith and listening to my body. And I have a hard time wanting to just lay and keep my body still when I'm in my cozy bed and I'm doom scrolling or just putting a YouTube video on in the background, because it's hard sometimes to eliminate such easy distractions. On my way here, I'm sitting in my park. I deleted my TikTok app, which I just needed to do because the drained feeling that I felt, even just starting filming right now when I parked because of like an hour that I scrolled on it. This is toxic. This is not, this is taking away from the beautiful thoughts in my brain that I want to turn into creations, right? And I need to remove myself more from the constant always having song or podcast on in the background. That's really hard. It's really hard when I've had over a decade of when I've had to go through things in my life that I did not want to be going through, certain school stuff, just when life got really hard. That was a very comfy safety net that I could always turn something on. And after that much time of it, of course, it's going to be hard to stop. And learning to do that with self love, not beating myself up for still going back and watching or listening to something, but still pushing myself. I think I'm still trying to find that line between pushing myself and this peace that I've found in this past year. Because I still have times where I want to push myself, but I go back to how I was in college, right? And I push myself way too hard for no reason. Way too hard. I really, really got unhealthy with it because I wanted to be absolutely perfect. So trying to step out of that all or nothing thinking while still wanting to push myself and keep my peace. I don't know how anyone finds that perfect middle ground. Well, I said the word perfect because I always want things to be perfect. That's still all or nothing thinking. So I guess just allowing myself to be in the middle ground of things while I try to find the best version of myself, while I try to find the best way I want to create, while I try to find the healthiest version of myself, while I try to find ways to make money, whatever it is, right? Trying to do it partially, not 0 or 100. I did that last weekend when I had a lot of cleaning up to do after a surprise birthday party that I held. And my room was a mess after it. Instead of going full clean or like leaving it a crazy mess like I do often, I set the timer for 10 minutes and I said, I'm just going to clean for 10 minutes. And then when that timer went off, I got a good portion of it done and I stopped. And I think if I can apply that to diet, as you can tell on my face, when I start to eat bad, I went like 4 straight days of just eating poor food. Like my poor body, my digestive system, my skin is suffering from that. Where I feel like I'll have to go perfect, not to get into eating disorder territory, but I struggle with binge eating and I'll either eat way too much or think I have to eat nothing at all. All of that is connected to all or nothing thinking and trying to find the moderation in everything. I find that word to be annoying, so I kind of wish I could think of another word for it, but I do need to, I will find a lot more peace if I do that. You see, I corrected myself. Not I need to, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to be a little less harsh. That's where I'm at. I would love to film more and not have it be such a big deal in my head, but this is also very new. It's not natural to put a camera in front of you and just start to talk. I didn't want to put makeup on my cheeks because I'm not someone to touch my face or pop my acne or whatever. I just let the air kind of hit it. But I still felt the need, because I knew I was going to talk to my phone, to fill in my eyebrows and curl my lashes. And I want to be more natural with it. I truly want to be just 100% genuine, which is why I'm saying this too. It's also why I made the Casey Neistat comment, because there really is a difference in how people perceive men and women. And I think it's a very interesting topic. And it's also a topic that can make me very angry and sad. I don't know, I just don't want it to hold me back from. There has to be a reason why I keep being told to just share my real self. So I need to stop telling myself that my natural skin right now is breaking out. Whatever it is, I always have an excuse to just not film, and slowly but surely and with moderation, learn that it is okay to film yourself as you are. Because that is what I want to do. That's the only version I want to show. And that's going to take time, because I've also lived 26 years of my life so far feeling like I need to be perfect. So I still have a long way to go, but I'm making good progress and I'm proud of myself. I really am. I take more time now than ever actually acknowledging that I'm proud of myself. Now that I have found so much peace in my life this past year, I realized how tired I am, how exhausted I am of constantly never being enough. I feel like this past fall was the first time I really realized like all the effort I put into sobriety and getting my degree after so many times failing. I can take a moment to be like, I did that. I did that. That's incredible. Yeah, I think I need to take more time feeling that too, rather than the constant push of now I need to make this much more money. Should I be creating? Is there a way to do it? Is there a way that I should be doing it? And is there a way that I'm doing it wrong? Like, stop, just stop. Do what feels right. Be proud of yourself for your accomplishments, you know? And then be aware of when you have pushed yourself too hard and when you've hated yourself for too long and when you find yourself falling into the all or nothing thinking, lovingly pulling yourself back and finding the moderation. I think that's what I want to leave you with. That's where I'm at. I'm just trying. It's not perfect, and I don't want it to be anymore. I don't want perfection anymore. Okay, that's it. Goodbye. Sending love. See you next week.